Okay,
Was that on the Deloitte? Sorry,
on the Deloitte report.
I beg your pardon for being late, and I don't know what was said.
Fine.
But certainly I feel it's a subject we should return to.
Right.
Whether we discuss how we return to that, but I would be most unhappy with the way a public body is dealing with an issue like this.
Okay.
And I think it's important. The system is extremely strong, and we're utterly dependent on whistleblowers. I've said this repeatedly, notwithstanding the excellent work of the Controller and General's Office and other offices as well. We're utterly reliant on whistleblowers, and if this is what they have to go through, I have to repeat it, Chair, and I'm taking my time just for a second to say that. It is important that we balance this. If this woman and her colleague didn't persist, we would not know. Now, where does that leave us with a public body, with a huge budget that's responsible for life and death?
Okay. Okay. Right.
Chair,
yeah.
Sorry, no, Chair. I heard your opinion, and I think you chaired the meetings very well, and normally I don't disagree too much with you, but I disagree with you fundamentally on this. You're conflating, I think was the word used, issues here inappropriately. And I, more than anyone, am fully conscious that there's an inquiry, and we should not trespass in any way into that inquiry. And indeed, it's an indictment that we've had to come to the stage where there is an inquiry in relation to this matter. So we'll park that. This is in relation to value for money. It's in relation to how much money they got or didn't get. And it's clear that the service provider maintained at all times, right up to the present day, that they were underfunded. Is that we accept that they were underfunded?
Up to the time they agreed to settlement.
No, I don't know who agreed to that settlement, and Controller in general might come back in on this, because for just at the moment I was at something else. Just the High Court. The High Court, and there was a settlement for Grace. She was awarded court, and there was a settlement, and as part of that settlement, this figure was put in. Now, you're interpreting that figure in a way without knowing the facts as to the nature of the case, who took it and what happened. And that was paid, we interpret that as an acknowledgement that they were underfunded all along, and so that backs up exactly what the whistleblower has told us.
Right.
Okay. In addition, we now have an up-to-date report from Deloitte, which is questionable in itself because of both sides, which needs to be teased out. That's a fundamental thing. If there's an independent report commissioned and then there are questions as to its independence and what has changed, that's a matter for this committee. And secondly, in relation to, there's no other issue before us except in relation to funding. Okay. And so it seems to me, and this is my view, and I'm open to changing this view, that the health executive wanted both ways. They want to acknowledge retrospectively that this money had to be given, but that they were never targeted, that they were never underfunded, and yet they quite happily gave over this figure here of 600,000. So they want it both ways. They simply can't have it both ways, Chair. Now, I disagree with you. I think it's very specific. If you'd like to make it even more specific, like we did with the guards, I have no difficulty with that. But this is an issue that has to be debated before us publicly.